the size of that thing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Red 2 Chatter, the podcast where we talk about everything Star Wars. I am your host, Dallin, and here I'm with my two brothers, Jay and Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going?
And today we have some very, very interesting topics, so let's get started. Rogue One closes its theatrical run amassing over $1 billion. Worldwide on a $200 million budget. While that is about half of what Force Awakens made, Rogue One is a huge success, and so does this success give you confidence going forward to standalone movies like the upcoming Solo movie? And will this continue the trend?
I think it's definitely a good sign. I mean, if you only spend $200 million to make $1 billion, I think you're on the right track, and I think that means going forward you're definitely going to see a lot more standalone movies.
Right, and even with the reshoot issue that Rogue One went through during its production, that didn't phase it whatsoever. In fact, we're not, nobody's 100% sure what was reshot and what wasn't, and all of that jazz. So just having the confidence going forward with this Han Solo movie, I'm just so looking forward to that movie. It's going to be really good.
And I agree with you. I don't think that those reshoots that wasn't a big deal at all. I mean, the movie was great. I loved Rogue One. I think it's one of my it's actually somewhere in the 3 to 4 range on my Star Wars favorite movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. I like it more and more. The more I watch it, the more I like it. I had a couple issues with it when I first saw it. Just Grand Moff Tarkin, knowing that Peter Cushing is no longer alive, it did take me out of the movie for that split second, because all I could focus on was, God, look how good that looks, but God, he's not alive. How is it possible?
Yeah, but you needed him. He was intricate in the story.
You had to have him. You had to have him. That's for sure. But the second time I watched it, man, like the shock wasn't there, So I just I was able to listen to what he was saying instead of just stare at him like, oh my God.
Yeah, and also the very end where I don't know if I want to throw any spoilers out there. Well, when you see Princess Leia at the end, and they digitally did Carrie Fisher. At first, the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, come on, okay, why couldn't you just do just the back of her head or something?
Right.
But then the second time, I was like, that's fine. This is great.
Right. But so just those few things with Rogue One. But like I said, every time I watch it, I like it more and more. It is slowly creeping up there into my probably top 4.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard to say. Maybe 5 still. It's hard to say because I do love the original show and I do love Force Awakens.
I'm looking to go back and watch it again because I've watched it maybe 4 or 5 times. But I didn't realize that there was some of the guys from Chopper.
Oh, yeah.
From Rebels, and that the Ghost was in the scenes, in the fight scene at the end. So I want to go back and make sure I see that stuff because I didn't even know it was there.
And you can hear them call for General Syndulla, which could be either Hera's dad or it could be Hera herself that they call for. We're not 100% sure yet.
Now, I only watched Rogue One once, and that was in the theater. So I haven't watched it again since. So I can't really say much, but I did like it the first time I went to go see it, so I'm sure if I watched it I'd like it even more. I thought the characters were very interesting. Thought the action was amazing. One of the best war scenes I've seen in a while.
At the very end? Yeah, that's good.
One of the best war scenes I've seen in a while. So, it was Hacksaw Ridge, up there with some of my favorite war scenes. I really liked it the first time I've seen it. I haven't seen it since, but I do need to watch it again.
And I think that its success has definitely made me more confident that they're going to make a lot more standalone Star Wars story movies.
Even the head of Disney, Feige? I think it's Feige. No, that's not. Anyway, the head of Disney said, this is kind of an experiment anyway, and I think Kathleen Kennedy, who's the head of Lucasfilms in Disney, also said, this is pretty experimental what they're trying to do with these standalone movies, and I think the experiment worked. Obviously,
yeah.
Just looking at the numbers and I haven't looked at. I don't get into critical reviews as far as, what's the big one
On Force Awakens?
No, the big review site where they
Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't look at Rotten Tomatoes scores too much. No. Obviously, because I don't even know the name of the website. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I do sometimes. I look at some, but it's kind of... I mean, it's interesting because a whole bunch of people on Rotten Tomatoes love Star Wars. From what I can see, they have a very, very good... what's that called? Track record. Yeah, they have a pretty good track record when it comes to their movies. So, and I do like the idea of Rotten Tomatoes where it's critic and an audience reviews. So it's critic reviews and an audience reviews. So you kind of get two sides of a spectrum here. You got someone who's just going to the movie for fun, going to see it. And then you have a critic who's it's their job to go see this movie, and so they have to actually analyze it. So. I thought that was, that's one of my favorite things about that site. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to say?
No, Don, what's next up?
Alright, so Disney has reportedly started over with episode 9, and it will be released in May of 2019. Due to the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher, of course. Does this mean they are rewriting Leia's parts in the movie or writing her out of the story? What do you guys think of that?
Or even are they recasting the part, which that's going to be very, very difficult to do.
True.
I mean, true fans are going to be not happy if you try to replace Carrie Fisher.
Well, we'll get into that coming up in a couple questions.
Okay.
But
I jumped forward. Sorry, guys.
Are they rewriting Leia's part so that she's not
as intricate
as big of a focus, a much smaller role? Or are they just going to send her off on a mission? And where you don't know what the outcome is. Well, that's risky, I think. Or are they just going to write her out of the story,
where she passes away, maybe peacefully she passes away.
Kill her off, or have her die. But make it. God, how are they going to do that?
I
mean, maybe it's just the strain of her son, and it finally catches up to her, and she passes away peacefully.
Maybe just the stress of dealing with her son and, now just this constant battle she's been in to
try to get rid of
the side of good
and trying to get rid of the Empire.
Right.
Now the First Order. Right. Just constant struggle. Maybe it just finally catches up with the wear and tear on her.
Maybe they'll write something like that in.
So, what worries you about this, though? What, is there some, that little whispering voice at the back of your head? It's just
the concerns are if they're having to redo a lot of episode 9, is it still going to be the same story?
Yeah, or is it going to get totally destroyed?
And we won't know.
You're not going to know.
But if episode 9 isn't as well received, will it be? Well, it's because Carrie Fisher died, and now she's not a part of the story.
Yeah, I don't know.
So. If you were in Disney's shoes,
what would you do?
Or what would you have done?
Oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the biggest concerns for me personally is that, what is it going to do to the story, especially since if Luke dies, then no one's going to give two craps if Kylo comes back to the light.
I will guarantee you, and I'll say this right, guarantee you, Luke makes it through this movie.
I'm pretty sure.
Because if they have to get make it into episode 9 and through the whole thing probably, but maybe die at the end, but through the entire episode 9, because with the loss of Carrie, we lost Han Solo, spoiler alert, if we lose Princess Leia and we lose Luke, that's just too much.
Yeah, I think
too much.
Yeah.
They have to keep Luke alive as long as they can.
Yeah.
Now I think they have to. Maybe that's part of what they're redoing. They're having to reshoot.
And it has to be
They have to change the story.
episode 9. I don't, they're not altering anything that happened in episode 8. I haven't heard anything on reshoots for episode 8.
Me neither.
It's pretty much in post-production, and they're doing all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think you're not going to get anything changed in episode 8, but episode 9 is, man, with Carrie Fisher's unfortunate passing, that's really thrown a wrench into what they're going to do.
Yeah, and we don't even know what the plot of episode 9 is going to be. We don't
even
even know what 8 is going to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, it's just a confusing battle.
For me, personally, if I was in their shoes, I'd recast.
You think
you would recast?
I'd recast. I would just...
And start from scratch at the very beginning? Yeah, you'd have to. You'd have to start from, at the beginning of episode 9, and you have a new Princess Leia.
Yep, you have a new Princess Leia. It's worked in other franchises multiple times. I mean, I understand how iconic and beloved Carrie Fisher is as Princess Leia, and I would, you can never replace that.
She's one of the first real powerful women in film, man.
As they always say in show business,
the show must
go on. Uh-huh. So I think I would just recast the role.
I think you're right. I would like to, if they're going to have her not be part of the. I'd like to see a peaceful passing of Princess Leia, but I don't think that's possible. You can't just at the very beginning of the movie, Princess Leia passed away.
Oh, she passed away in between.
And
you
can't. I just don't think you can do it. So I think you're right. I think it's going to have to be recast.
And you can't have an off-screen death where the planet that she's on gets blown up.
Right.
You can't have that.
That wouldn't do her any justice.
No,
exactly.
That would be almost a Darth Maul way of going out.
I know Kathleen Kennedy say they're not going to CGI her like they did Grand Moff Tarkin. Which was another way to go.
It would be too much CGI.
Right. And it would just be
too soon.
Just man, it'd take you out of the movie. I think
because you're
she's not there.
She's not actually there. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it would just be too much.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think recasting is going to have to be the way to go.
Yeah,
and it's got to be the right person. We can get into that some other time. It's got to be the right person. Maybe we can do this on another podcast later on of who we would like to see if they do recast.
Yeah,
right.
But right now,
get more information.
I'd have to think about
it. That's me too. I've got to put some thought into that because
I
can't think right off the top of my head anybody that I'd want to play Princess Leia.
No. Except for Carrie
Besides
Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. So anyone, you got finished up your thoughts?
On that topic, I think we're good to go.
What's next?
All right, so Rian Johnson, he is the director for The Last Jedi. He asked J.J. Abrams, who is the director of Force Awakens, to alter the ending of Force Awakens. So J.J. initially had BB-8 going up with Rey and Chewie to go meet Luke Skywalker. But Ryan, he didn't want that. He wanted to have R2-D2 make the journey.
And BB-8 to stay with Poe.
Yeah. So what could this change mean going forward in the last?
So wait, why did he ask him to do that? What was the purpose?
What was the point of him asking him to do that? And it's because of R2-D2 and Luke Skywalker's relationship. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think R2 might have some piece of information that
Luke needs or had left with him, or
that R2 wants to take to Luke. I just don't. I mean, I understand how Rey and BB-8 became, great pals and they were a good team together, but BB-8's always been Poe's droid.
Yeah, it's Poe's droid.
So Poe needs BB-8 to help him pilot an X-wing. I think BB-8 makes Poe a better pilot, just like R2 made Luke a better pilot. And made Anakin a better pilot. I mean, these droids, they just become such an integral part of these other characters' beings.
Yeah.
They also actually really, I think they need them.
Right. They really rely on them. If you watch Clone Wars, Anakin
relies on
anything
R2-D2.
for R2-D2.
Oh, yeah.
He will risk his life to save R2-D2.
There's the one episode where R2 gets captured and
Yeah.
he gets a different droid, and that other droid's just
Goldie.
just worthless.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
not just because. Well, I'm not going to give the spoiler away if you haven't seen the Clone Wars.
Well, we
but-
actually did talk
the
about
cartoon,
this
but-
on the last episode when we were talking about action figures that we would like to see. We did talk about Goldie, so we did kind of.
Oh, we already did the
spoil it.
spoiler.
Yeah,
where he was. Yeah, that's right. We did. Didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Where he's an agent of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also just think though that even if it was just a random astromech, I think it would just not be
The same.
or astro droid. It wouldn't be the
Right.
same.
So I think the same thing goes with Poe and BB-8. I mean, he saw how excited Poe was to see
him again?
BB-8 again.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was a good call by Ryan Johnson to make that switch. I mean,
Well, not that, but just the reunion between Luke and R2 is
Yeah.
gonna. I think in the next movie is gonna be epic.
right,
I
have
think.
a lot more
A lot more
emotion,
emotion behind it
Yeah,
because-
he's gonna be like, "Who's this ball droid?"
Yeah,
That's
yeah, he doesn't care
Yeah.
about him, but he
Um,
sees R2, he's gonna be like, R2, my old
Right.
friend or whatever,
Right, and,
because they are
and-
friends. They're
and
friends.
Chewie's there, so he's like, "Chewie, I'm so sorry about Han."
Yeah, I'm sure he already knows. He felt
knows,
it.
He
He
felt
it.
it in the Force, just
Yeah,
like
just
Leia
like it
did.
did.
You know, Luke felt
Felt
it.
it.
Yeah, R2 has definitely always been a Skywalker droid. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
basically a Skywalker. He's part of the family.
Yeah, I mean, he started off as
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 just
a Queen,
some
as Queen
Amidala.
Amidala's.
Yeah, as a
Which-
droid on Naboo.
that just so
Naboo's-
happened to survive.
Well,
an
he
attack,
saved,
yeah.
he saved their butts.
Mhm.
He was the only one left.
Yeah.
All the rest of them got killed. When,
Yeah. My
they-
question
they
is,
tried to escape
how does
Naboo.
R2 get up the stairs?
He can fly.
Can he?
Remember?
Have
Well,
you seen Revenge of the Sith?
yeah.
Haven't you ever seen?
But can he like fly?
Attack of the
through
Clones?
walls?
Attack of the Clones is the first time
There we
Yeah.
where he uses that.
Yeah, in the
When they go
droid
into
factory.
the droid factory, yep. And C-3PO
Yeah,
falls
it's-
off and R2 flies over.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess that would work.
And he uses it quite a bit in Clone Wars, I think, in the cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does. He does. He used that a lot in the Clone
All right,
Wars.
so we pretty much agree that these changes made by Ryan Johnson, it's basically because he wants to see R2-D2 and Luke back together. I think is
Yeah, and have that connection there
Right.
right at the very beginning of that movie. I think
Yep.
you're going to see that.
Okay.
all right.
That's
What's next?
What's next, Dylan?
Okay, so we get our first look at Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter for The Last Jedi. Does this imply that we are in for an epic space battle in Episode 8? Now, I already know we're in for an epic space battle in Episode 8, just from the teaser. Like, you see a whole bunch of people getting blown up, and you see a big battle going on, so I think Kylo Ren's probably going to be a part of that battle. Who knows, we might get a showdown between him and Poe in their respective...
I didn't even think that.
in their respective,
Right.
ships. That just
So do you think Kylo will have the piloting chops like his dad and like his
Grandfather.
grandfather and his uncle? I mean, do you think
Yeah,
he'll have those piloting chops? Do you think
it's-
it just is going to come naturally for Kylo?
I think so, and
he also has the Force, so that always
It always helps.
yes, it always helps. And it would be interesting if the theory that our mom actually has on the series is that Poe is actually Luke's son. So it would be very interesting if that is actually the case.
I would say that, except for I've read the comic books Shattered Empire, where Poe Dameron is... Luke gives Poe Dameron's parents one of the Force trees that he collects from Coruscant, from the Jedi Temple there. So I'm pretty sure Poe isn't
Yeah,
Not bad.
Luke's
isn't
son.
At least
isn't
that.
Luke's son.
But if you look at the ship itself, it's very reminiscent of Darth Vader's ship, but it's kind of also looks like the battle droid ship. You know the
Yeah,
Well,
which is
from the droid army.
for the droid army.
yeah, the variable geometry self-propelled battle droid Mark 1.
Yeah, that ship.
that ship, the one that can like walk on its wing and then like
Yeah, and then takes off.
Yeah.
They kind of meshed those two ships together.
right, and a little bit of a TIE Interceptor.
TIE Interceptor in
feel
there as well. Yep.
Yeah.
It's very interesting looking ship.
It's got like the flat kind of cockpit.
And we'll
It's got the curve.
put up a picture of it so you guys can see it
And we'll probably put
during
up a
this little
picture.
section here.
We'll probably put up a picture of it, and then Darth Vader's ship, and then the
Mark
Mark 1
the Mark
battle
whatever,
self-propelled battle droid, Mark 1, and so they do look like a mix of the two, like the love child of those two ships. It's exactly what it looks like. So yeah,
And I wonder if they actually pulled some of the influence. I can guarantee you pulled influence from the Darth Vader ship.
Oh,
But I wonder if they were pulling an influence from
Initially,
that
right.
from that droid ship.
It's hard to say.
Because it looks very similar.
The more you look at it, the more it looks. Yeah, the
you
more
see those
it.
two together.
Yeah.
You see them together.
now my question is, where do you think this space battle is going to take place? Well, of course in space, but like, you know, is it going to be over a particular planet? Is it going to
For
be...
what reason?
what reason are they attacking?
Well,
You know?
it's going to be the rebel, or I guess they're not rebels now. What are they called? Resistance versus the First Order is what the battle's going to be. I'm sure, but
I think it's going to take place fairly early in the movie as well.
Yeah,
I think the
the
First Order is really going to try to take advantage of, even though they just lost their huge Star Killer base, but the Resistance just lost all of the support from. Because Hosnian Prime just got destroyed, like 5 planets.
Yeah, a lot of their
just got destroyed.
A lot of their backers got destroyed.
All their support just got destroyed.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be a battle on that planet that the Resistance is on.
Is their base?
I think it's going to be a space battle and maybe even a ground battle in those two on that planet.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
Now, does that mean that Kylo Ren will actually be in the battle? Because at the end, he's supposed to be going to Snoke's. So
I don't know.
I'm kind of hoping for a Poe and Kylo Ren showdown, though, because it would be awesome to see. You know, because these two have had kind of a history. You know,
yeah, and you've never really seen anything like that in the movies.
No, you never
so
seen
far. Like where it's two epic guys
Just
actually
barely.
going at each other, not.
like an actual dogfight going
Right,
on.
Not like Luke. Not like Luke getting shot at by Darth Vader.
No, because Darth Vader had no idea who
Luke was.
Maybe these
two.
two.
Strong
Yeah.
at this point. That was all he could.
Just start shooting him.
That's all he could really say.
Yeah, but Kylo and Poe know each other, so
Right.
Yeah, so there's a vendetta there. So I really hope for a fight between Poe and Ren to take place. I think that would be awesome.
That would be pretty sweet.
Like-
And something totally new.
Yeah,
Something
just a
different.
total dog fight between the two. I would love to see that.
Yeah, where it just comes down to those two. Like it started out, there's a ton of ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
and even those two
see
just
that.
going through all that battle, just chasing each other around, trying to destroy one another.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
I'd like to say right now, though, I'd like to see both of them make it out because I don't want Poe to die.
Oh, they're both.
And
they're
I don't
both,
think I'm pretty sure Kylo's not going
I think
to.
it'd be like a stalemate.
Yeah, one of those kind of deals where just
maybe both of them get damaged,
Right.
And they have to like retreat,
Yeah.
or else they would die. So
All right, we covered that topic
I think
pretty
we-
well.
I think we
right?
covered
we
that
kind of
topic.
nerded out a little bit at the end there, but that's okay. So
All right, now what's next?
next we go to Tashi Toy Station. Or a toy
Toy
box.
box.
I like the toy station though.
I didn't want it to be too on the nose. With
Tashi
Toy
Toy
Stations.
So
Yeah.
I made a Tashi toy box.
Okay, so Funko is releasing Star Wars mystery minifigures. The list consists of 15 characters from Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. So first you got Grand Moff Tarkin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Chewbacca, Han Solo, Luke, Leia, C-3PO, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, TIE Fighter pilot, which I would love, Hammerhead, Greedo, Walrus Man, Snaggletooth, and Jawa. Jawa is my
I
favorite.
was going to say, I thought the Jawa had all those, not the TIE Fighter pilot.
I would love the last 5. Like, Hammerhead, Greedo, Walrus Man, Snaggletooth, and Jawa would be, like, the ones that I would want.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, I want all of them.
So do I.
I mean, I collect some of the other ones. I've done these mystery minis before. I've got some X-Men figures, and I've also got some Master of the Universe figures. And there's always like a couple in there. Like I don't care if I have.
In this, I
In
want
this,
them all.
I want them all. So I'll just start. Maybe just buy a whole box of them. I don't know.
I know. Me too. I kind of noticed that they almost went with the original 12. There's just a couple guys missing there,
Right?
And some extras in there, but
Right.
they almost went with the original 12
They're
from
really
back
the
in the
only one
70s.
They don't have from the original 12 is
Sand People,
Right? The Tusken
Raider, and the the Death Star Gunner or Death Star Commander.
Yeah, Death Star Commander.
And then the ones that they've added, like the newer ones, or the new ones in this would be in like Grand Moff Tarkin,
right?
TIE Fighter Pilot, Hammerhead, Greedo, Walrus Man,
No,
Snaggletooth.
I would like
all
to
the rest
see...
of them were basically
Now,
the original 12.
Out of these ones, which ones do you think will be the rare ones to get? Because there's always some that are like 1 to 64.
I think Hammerhead might be a rare one.
I'm thinking Hammerhead might be one of the rare ones.
Those 4 might be actually.
I'm thinking you might be right on that Snaggletooth that you said when we were talking earlier.
Right.
That's going to be like a blue.
In our pre-production meeting, I think Snaggletooth, because he is like a rare figure to find now.
Yeah.
Like from the original.
From the originals, yeah. He was always hard, especially in the blue.
Yeah.
Now, I bet I wouldn't put it past them to have a blue one and a red one.
And
the
blue
red
ones are easy to get.
Yeah, the blue one's almost impossible.
Just like on our Smuggler's Bounty box.
Yeah, I got
a red one.
I got a red one, and there's just a few people that got blue ones.
Lucky.
SOBs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to all of them. I mean, the ones I think are going to be rare, are those ones. They might make the Leia rare, because I've noticed in a lot of these different things, the women are the rare ones for some reason.
Except for Ray. Ray I can find everywhere now.
No, I'm talking about these mystery boxes.
Yeah,
these mystery boxes.
The mystery minis.
Yeah, you look at the Masters of the Universe ones, the Tila and the Evil Lyn were the ones that were rarer in that very first ones that they put out.
I don't know, considering the fact that when we got the X-Men ones, we got all 3 of the women. Each one of us got one different
That's true.
type of the women.
So maybe my theory is shot.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that the Hammerhead, the Greedo, Walrus Man.
So I would say
I'm gonna say those are gonna be more rare.
Right. I'd say we're all pretty much fans of the mystery minis. I like to buy them. It's like a little gamble every time.
Yeah,
it's like playing the lottery a little bit.
Yeah, it drives you nuts though when it's like, I already got this one.
Duplicate.
But thank goodness for us, we can just pass them around to each other.
Right, we just trade them off.
We trade them
the 3 of us.
Between the 3 of us. We trade them off, so it's all right.
But if you guys collect minifigures, the mystery minifigures, or if you don't, comment down in the comment section below this, and just tell us if you like them, or if you don't like them. If you're like, why would you sell a toy that you can't see? Or who would buy a toy you can't see?
It's a genius idea, though, because if you want all of them, you're going to get duplicates.
Yes, so many people do it, too. Like, My Little Pony does it, X-Men does it, Marvel does it, everybody does it.
Transformers, everybody doing it now. Harry Potter, there's Harry Potter ones out there for you Harry Potter fans.
Or Sister Girl.
I mean, I personally love them. I think they look cool when you get them. Like, there's some of them I don't like the way they look. The Transformer ones I'm not a huge fan of. But I love the Masters of the Universe ones. Those things are so cool. And I like the majority of the X-Men ones. They're just some figures I don't want.
Except for Xavier.
Yeah, I got that one, the Xavier one.
Xavier.
I gave it to my niece.
Yeah.
But these ones, all these ones look good. If you go onto our Facebook, do we have those on the Facebook page? You have the box put up.
Yes,
there, right?
I have the picture of the box,
but it doesn't have all the figures. It just has a couple of the figures.
Yeah,
but the ones that they've showed look really, really cool.
I'll put a picture.
I'm sure all of them are going to be good.
I'll put a picture of them in editing.
Okay.
Right here, so you can see them.
All right, we done with that one?
Yeah,
What's
we're
next?
done with that one. Okay, so we got 5 new Black Series figures have been announced for Force Friday this September. But the catch is that they all have code names, so we don't know who they actually are.
So we don't know who these. What are they? 5 of them? 5 figures?
5,
okay.
Yes.
Here's the code names. Go ahead, Dylan. We got the code names.
Cool Beta, which is Foxtrot, Victor 2 with Throne, and finally the Guards of Evil
4-pack,
which is a 4-pack. So who could they be? Let's start out with Cool Beta.
I have no clue. But I think they'll want to try to get some of the main characters out.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like in their
so
new,
maybe
their new
Cool
outfits.
Beta could be Finn? Maybe?
Maybe. Or Poe. Could be Poe.
I was thinking Foxtrot would be Poe.
Yeah, I was thinking
maybe
Foxtrot because that's
Foxtrot
more
could
of
be
like
Poe.
a pilot sort of like call
sign.
sign.
Foxtrot, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a...
Well, I mean, Victor's also using that sort of like...
Yeah, it's the
Foxtrot
same
Victor,
thing.
it'd be like saying FV.
Yeah.
Like or Charlie or whatever.
Yeah, right. Victor Charlie Foxtrot, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so we're thinking Cool Beta. We have no clue.
Yeah, Cool Beta. I'm either thinking
It could be art.
Ray.
It could be a droid beta.
It could be a
Could
droid.
be a droid. Could be a droid.
Could be.
I don't know. Maybe it's R2.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Cool beta. Cool as in
It could be,
blue.
and it could be, and
Yeah.
it could be something from the new movie that we haven't even seen.
Right.
It could
Yeah.
be something totally different.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then
Victor.
Foxtrot, I think Poe were kind of like thinking that might be right. Victor.
Now,
Victor-
is Victor and Victor 2
with
different
throne
characters?
or is it the same character? One's with a throne, one's without. If that's true, I think Victor is Snoke. Because of the throne, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, why would they add with throne
With
in there?
throne in there. You know,
Who's the only other
other
character
char-
you've seen
seen
in
in-
Force Awakens with a throne?
What's kind of,
Yeah.
well, or at least looks like he's sitting on a throne of some sort.
Yeah. And then, so we think that Victor is Snoke?
I think maybe
Well, Victor 2 with throne, I think is
Victor 2 with throne, I think, is definitely
Snoke.
Snoke. I think Victor
not
could be Ren. It could be Kylo Ren.
It could be any of the villains. It could be like Hux.
Right.
It
It could be another
Ren.
Captain Phasma.
It could be Phasma.
Right.
We don't
Who knows?
know. We don't know yet.
Guards of Evil
Now,
4-pack.
this one, I think, is some of the Knights of Ren
If they're the Knights of Ren,
that we haven't seen yet.
I'm buying that 4-pack.
Yeah.
If that's what those are, those are
It-
those are in my collection.
I don't think it'll have Kylo in the 4-pack. I think it'll just be
Some of the knights,
for the
and you don't know
How many
what their
Knights
names
of
are.
Ren are?
Well, let's see. In
And
the
the
movie, try to think back. There's at least 4. There might be 5.
I think
in
there's
that
5 behind Kylo.
Kylo in that scene. I'm gonna have to go back and
That
watch.
That'd be very-
flashback scene.
Thanks a lot, Dal. I'm going to have to watch that again tonight or something.
That'd be interesting if, like, it is the Knights of Ren, and there is 5 of them behind Ren, and they only sell 4 of them. Who is the 5th?
Yeah, who's the left out? Who's
So
the guy that's left out?
why did they leave him out?
Yeah.
If there's an actual reason as to why they left him out, so or her, we don't know the genders of the Knights of
Knights of
Ren.
Ren. Nope.
Right,
they could be all women for all I know.
Yeah,
One
who
could be a
knows?
droid. For
Yeah,
all I
for all I
know.
Maybe
know, yeah.
Kylo's the first guy. We don't know. So yeah, it is very on the ropes right now with these Black Series figures. This is all speculation. We don't have any connections to anybody.
Nope,
So,
I don't
we
know.
know nothing.
I know nobody at Hasbro or
So,
at Disney.
then again, I kind of just don't want to know, and I want to be surprised.
Yeah, me too. I'd like
But
to.
it's fun to speculate on some code names they throw up.
It'll be interesting to see if they can keep them secret all the way up until September. I'm guessing that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to leak,
Also, I think it's interesting how
and they might just put it out too.
if they do put up figures of characters that we haven't seen yet, like in Last Jedi, that's going to be very interesting because that means they're putting out figures before the movie even comes out.
Yeah, which they've been bad about, in my opinion, on the Force Awakens and Rogue One about getting characters out too slowly. That kind of drives me nuts. I mean, I'm going to go off on this probably on another day, but
Yeah.
We'll go off on the Hasbro distribution
Yeah, no.
rant later.
Yeah, we'll save that.
We'll save that.
We'll save that when we're
'Cause
out
I'm not
of
sure
the
it's
topics.
a Hasbro issue. I'm more leaning towards an over-ordering issue from like Walmart, Target, Toys R Us,
Yeah,
etc., etc., etc.
of the first wave, and then they don't put orders in for the
can't
second,
sell
third.
them out,
Yeah.
so they don't put in orders for the second wave or third wave.
Yeah.
But I still have
But
a problem.
anyway.
I still have a problem with more than just why
Right.
is there only 3 waves.
That's a
just
rant for another day.
Okay.
Okay, so that's basically the end of our topic area. So now, since we have a little bit of time left over...
Well, there's no new gaming news.
Yeah, there's no new gaming news. There's no new gaming with Gamorreans news. Gaming news does come very slow.
Especially in the Star Wars
universe.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and it always surprises me how some podcasts can do just pure gaming news, because it's like how sometimes no news comes out in a week. Like, how can you do this weekly? But I guess they just go around and talk about what games they played. So, since we don't have any Gaming with Gamorrean news, let's actually do a little kind of review of Phantom Menace, since Ryan and I recently watched it again. We recently watched Attack of the Clones, but we'll save that for another day. So, what do you guys think? I'm just going to start off.
Well,
Ryan,
okay.
Jay, me.
I have a little bit of different perspective on this movie after listening to George Lucas at Celebration talk about why he did what he did with that movie. Why there was the Jar Jar Binks character. why there was, the pod racing and the young Anakin stuff, and just the more kid oriented towards that movie. That except for kind of the end where it was a little more dark, where people were dying, but his whole thing was at that celebration was, I like this. I did these movies for children, so that they're he liked to see the smiles on their faces. That's why he was doing. That's why you had the Jar Jar Binks character. And after watching it again, the Jar Jar Binks character makes more sense. It's not as bad as it was when I first saw it in the theater.
Right. And I'll preface my review by saying Phantom Menace is my favorite movie of the prequels.
Really?
It
wow.
is.
That's my least favorite of
Phantom Menace.
No.
Attack of the Clones is
sorry.
least favorite.
Attack of the Clones is by far because
it's just because
another time.
All right. Yeah, Phantom Menace to me is my favorite of the prequels, and I think it's because it has the most story. Just like A New Hope is my favorite of the original trilogy. I just like the way that they build
the characters.
I like that part of the movie, the building up of characters. I gotta learn about Qui-Gon Jinn. I gotta learn a lot about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Got to learn about young Anakin, and Jake Lloyd did a fine job in that movie. I think personally,
yeah, for what he
was supposed to
given,
play an 8-year-old kid,
child. Yeah,
he did that just fine.
Yeah.
I don't get why people come down so hard on Jake Lloyd's performance in that movie, because he portrayed an 8-year-old kid
as an
like an 8-year-old kid. So it never made any sense to me why they just came down on him like that. Did he have some cheesy lines? Yeah, he's an 8-year-old kid.
Yippee!
Right.
Yeah.
He was excited. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
I mean,
the biggest issue I have...
Midichlorians?
Ryan and I discussed
Could we
this.
just leave that out?
Right.
They could have just edited that scene. That would have been like the perfect movie for me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind Jar Jar Binks in that movie. I think he got worse in the next movie.
Even though he didn't have less,
Even though he had less to do. I think because he was just an idiot, and I get it. He's there for the kids. He made the poo and fart jokes, and he made it fun for the young kids. I had no issues really with that part of it. I have an issue with why Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan let him tag along. But whatever. That's
after they got
cannon fodder. I don't know.
After you got to Naboo, they could have just sent him home.
Right. Like, look.
Thanks, you got us through the core of the planet.
Thank you. Right.
Thanks for getting us through the planet core, and we
no
got to
longer need your
Naboo.
services.
Here's the ship. Take it back.
Right.
See
But
ya.
he tagged along, and that was that's all right.
Like I said, I think it's because George Lucas was trying to get the children into the movie.
And my favorite part of it.
And you know what? That's a great thing they got those kids in the movie, because they were kids like Dallin when he was younger, and now he's a big fan, and I get to watch more and more and more movies because there's another fan base besides just us older guys, seasoned veterans of the Star Wars that grew up on the originals. You also have us, and you have the next generation,
The prequels.
and right now they're building the next generation, and that means I'm going to have Star Wars movies until the day I die.
Right. And my love for, I wouldn't say love, but my appreciation for Phantom Menace came over multiple viewings. It didn't come the first time.
No, definitely.
It definitely came over multiple. I had to watch that movie multiple times to really appreciate it. And again, like you said, Ryan, just George Lucas's whole ideas on it. It really makes sense why that movie is the way it is.
It was.
And two of my most favorite scenes are the pod race, which is an extremely long scene, but I love that. I just love the epicness of it, and sort of the dire, like, man, people are just crashing all around, and it's very dire.
I really like that scene.
If you got rid of the commentator guys, but I think that was more for the kids.
That was for kids again, just to understand what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, like, I also like that pod race scene because it gives you really good insight into the community of Tatooine. So you have like all the people, woohoo, cheering on. Then you have the Jawas maybe like watching the pod race going down, and then you have the Tusken Raiders up on hills shooting at the pod racers.
Right.
Like, I love that part because it's just like it shows how unique Tatooine is. That like everyone kind of knows this happens in Tatooine, and so everyone who lives on Tatooine takes advantage of it in their own way.
Right. But I also love that scene because it shows that somebody can use the Force and not even know they're using the Force.
It gives you hope.
Just like Rey.
Mm-hmm.
When she's piloting the
Millennium Falcon,
she's using the Force. She just doesn't know it. Just like Anakin didn't know he's using the Force. That's why what made him such a good pilot is because of his Force abilities. He just didn't know he was using it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Rey is such like a good fighter. That's why she can hold her own against Kylo Ren when they face off. And once Maz Kanata like tells her like the Force, and she remembers that and she closes her eyes. I mean, it makes a whole lot more sense. It ties that to the pod race scene, helps you understand what Rey's going through.
Yeah, and it's like when she closes her
She
eyes, that's
just
it's a breakthrough. It's like all of a sudden her mind's like, oh, boom,
yes, the Force.
I can embrace that.
Right, I can. Yeah. Maybe that's why these feelings I've been having, why I'm such a good pilot and why this and that, is it's the Force that's guiding me, instead of...
Okay, so what was your second scene?
Second favorite scene is the battle against the battle droids and the guns. I love that scene. I love them. They put the shields up, and I love the way the big battle droid carriers come and they disperse the droids out.
And then they all turn on and like lockstep turn and all that stuff.
Yeah. And they're just lined up there, and then they just start marching forward. Oh man, it's such a cool.
I think one of my favorite scenes though is when Qui-Gon and all those guys, they land on Naboo and they're gonna go get the Viceroy guys, and then all of a sudden that door opens up, and it's like, we're gonna go we'll take the long way because it's Darth Maul standing there, and
right.
They're like,
yeah, that's a great scene too.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we'll handle this. We'll take the long way.
Now,
I love that because it's just Darth Maul. He's just standing there.
So this is from someone who grew up watching this movie. This is back when I was like 3,
4, 5,
4, 5, 3. This was the Star Wars movie that I watched the most. Because this was the one that came out closer to when I was born. So it was kind of a movie that I grew up on, and I absolutely loved it as a kid. Like, I thought it was the greatest movie ever. I loved watching the lightsaber fight. In fact, when I was a kid, all I really cared about in the movie was the lightsaber fight. So sometimes, when I didn't feel like watching the rest of the movie, I just grabbed the controller, skip to the lightsaber fight, just watch that, turn it off, then go then go do something else. But it made me realize, coming back, watching it again after so many years of not seeing it, one thing that stays consistent, or the first thing I'll talk about, one thing that stays consistent throughout the whole Star Wars series, no matter how bad any of the movies are, John Williams' score.
Oh, yeah.
Is always great.
The music is awesome.
I love the Separatist theme. It's probably one of my favorite themes ever. When the droids start coming out of the droid dispenser, and then bum 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 bum, and they bum 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 bum, and like they march along to the beat. It's like a new Imperial march, and he made it sound so unique to them that whenever you hear that, you instantly think of that scene with the droids marching. And just everything. I love the Duel of Fates. The song that plays while Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon Jinn are fighting.
Oh yeah, that's a great score.
Love that scene. Love it. And I love the music that goes along with it. It fits so well. So yeah, first thing, John Williams' score, always great. No matter what Star Wars movie it's in.
Yep, they're all great.
It's always good. Second thing I talk about, like, Ryan and I both watched it, and, we were just, commentating over it. And, when you see it again and you really look at it, you're like, yeah, I can kind of understand, like, where Lucas was coming from with this. He may have not done it in the most graceful of ways. You know, like, I think that, you know, having C-3PO and R2-D2 in the original trilogy and having BB-8 in the new trilogy, or the new movies, I don't think it's going to be a trilogy per se, but I think there are much more graceful ways of getting younger kids into it than Jar Jar Binks was.
Yeah, I think BB-8 was a way better...
Yeah, a way better, like, grab for kids than Jar Jar Binks was. But then again, it was in a different time. It was, you know, back in, like, the late 90s when he made that character. So, it was, you know, comedy is always going to be changing. And so, for kids. So, Jar Jar Binks really does show the time that it was made in. And I actually like the Gungans. Like, I thought that the Gungans, like, idea of this underwater city was really cool. The one problem I had with it was, why do you live underwater if you can't breathe underwater? But, you know.
Safety, I guess.
Yeah, and
security.
Ryan and I just figured they're amphibians, so that's why. Or, you know.
There's more of a defense strategy on their part, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, I actually really like the movie. It's not my favorite. My favorite is probably Revenge of the Sith.
Out of the first three.
Out of the first three. I really like Revenge of the Sith. Just because... we'll get to it when we get to it. But, yeah, I like Revenge of the Sith. But I actually really like this one, too. So it's probably like a close, you know, pretty close match, neck and neck. But Revenge of the Sith just slightly wins over. And it also made me realize Phantom Menace is really the oddball Star Wars movie, isn't it? Because, you know, you usually Star Wars movies, they focus on one central character. So, you know,
Luke.
Attack of the Clone, yeah, Anakin, Luke, Rey. In Phantom Menace,
there's really no
main focus, except for maybe
Qui-Gon, but then he dies at the end, and it's just like
Qui-Gon is kind of the
driver of the movie
of that movie.
Yeah, but it's interesting how
even once Anakin's introduced, he's still sort of the central character.
But it's very it's almost like he's not the the major driving force like Luke is in A New Hope, and like Rey is or like Anakin is after Phantom Menace. It's all about actually maybe Clone Wars might be
or the Attack of the Clones. It's more like an Obi-Wan movie.
Maybe more of an Obi-Wan
is
and
Anakin. Yeah, it's like the two of those movies, and then Revenge of the Sith is basically all Anakin. Yeah. That's all Anakin. So yeah, it's really interesting to me to see how that plays out, and also you know, this is my director's eye kind of talking to me, but if you watch all of the all of the movies in order, it will amaze you how different, you know, the camera work is, the cinematography, the angles, how each of the characters are presented. You know, like it, you know, because in the original trilogy there was a lot of, you know, kind of symbolism going on. You know, you had the enemy in all dark black. Then you had the hero in all white.
Yeah.
You know,
then you had just the stormtroopers were all the exact same, so it's very menacing looking.
It does kind of carry over, but there's a lot of differences. Like with the Gungans, they all look different.
Yeah, they're all just individuals. They're very much Ewokish, like all individuals just. But they have a little more technology than the Ewoks did. The Ewoks were very primitive.
Right. And
the Gungans were not as primitive.
The Gungans knew what they were there for in that battle. They were just there to distract them.
Yeah.
They didn't,
while
they didn't
they get a hold
to win at all.
Yeah, while they get a hold of the Viceroy and try to stop it. And actually, it took Anakin blowing up the droid ship to stop it.
Right. And I had no problem with that scene either.
No, I actually really like the designs of this movie.
He's supposed to be the hero.
Right.
Anakin is.
Yeah.
And then he becomes the bad guy.
Yeah. I really like the designs of this movie, too. like the droid ship. You know, like the
Oh,
ball. and
that's
the
one of my favorite ships.
sea. Yeah,
I
the
actually
sea
like
shape.
that one better than the Star Destroyers.
Yeah,
I love that ship because it has that piece in the middle that can drop out and land on the planet, and then it can come up and hook in.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite.
Really cool.
Favorite large ships. I'll say that. Favorite large ships.
And I love like the Padme's that bright silver chrome ship.
Oh yeah,
I love that thing.
Yeah.
I love the sound it makes. The sound effects in that movie. Some of the effects in that movie are awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. And probably my favorite scene in the entire movie was Anakin and Obi-Wan's first meeting. Because it's such a humble beginning. Qui-Gon Jinn just gets on the ship after almost dying from Darth Maul. And he's just like, oh yeah, by the way, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan, Anakin. And that's just like, oh, nice to meet you. Like, and just from that spawns this rivalry and friendship and brotherhood.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, the
such
death
a
of Qui-Gon played into that.
As well.
Yeah.
The death of Qui-Gon.
'Cause- You know, Obi-Wan promised you a
But just the
training.
very
first
beginning,
encounter.
the very first encounter. Yeah, it's very kind of just like
Humble.
This is like very nonchalant. Oh, Obi-Wan, Anakin. This is Obi-Wan.
And then it's just like, nice to
Oh,
meet
hey,
you.
you're
Like,
a Jedi too. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
And it was like, that is so weird how they start off like that, and also how R2-D2 starts off. Like, he's just some droid on Padme's ship who just so happens to survive and save them. And that's the birth of one of the most central characters ever.
You just reminded me of another thing I don't like about the movie.
What?
I wish Anakin didn't build C-3PO.
Really?
Yeah. I wish C-3PO
Was
had
just his
just
own-
come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I understand why they did it. They wanted to sort of tie, but you just have... They never really explain if R2-D2 gets completely brainwashed throughout any of the movies.
Or he gets his mind wiped.
Yeah, mind wiped.
Or his memories wiped, whatever.
Obviously,
He doesn't have a mind, but
obviously 3PO gets his memories
He's
erased at some point. Because he would have to remember Anakin Skywalker.
yeah, because he sees him when he's a kid. He was built by him,
Right.
and then he sees him when he's older.
Yeah.
So,
So,
okay.
Yeah. So, basic,
let's give it a
unanimous consensus.
score on a scale of 5.
Okay, so each of us give a score on a scale to 5.
I'm last. I gotta go last.
You go first.
You go first down.
I'm giving it a 4. I actually liked it. I think I would actually give Revenge of the Sith a 5. We'll get to that. I'll get to my reasons on that later. But I give it a 4.
Okay.
I give it a solid 4.
Jay?
I give it a... Yeah, I give it a 4. 4 is a good number.
I'm gonna go with be the contrarian here. I'm gonna go with a 3.5.
3.5.
I'm gonna cut one of my stars in half, or one of my.
One of your
I'm
fingers.
gonna cut a finger in half.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to 3.5.
Cut your Darth Maul in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cut Darth Maul in half. All right. So Zach, I think we're done for the.
Okay, so
we're done for today.
My basic, to wrap up this Phantom Menace thing.
Okay, we're still
Okay, well, just to
Keep
wrap
going.
it up real quick. I challenge each and every one of you listening to this podcast right now, watch Phantom Menace again. It is a lot better than you remember it to be.
Yeah, especially if you haven't watched it in a long time.
Especially if you haven't seen it in a long time.
And think of George Lucas focusing on children to try to get them into the Star Wars franchise.
Yes, so that is the conclusion to that review. Just go watch it again. It's better than you remember.
And I think our episode 3 podcast has come to an end,
Yes.
folks.
So I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. If you guys want to come follow us on Facebook, link is down in the description below. You can follow Jay's Instagram at...
Yeah, Jay Wilson by Design on Instagram, and you can also follow me on Twitter at jaybird51.
And you can't follow me on social media because this is the only place you'll ever find me on social media.
Yeah.
I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Instagram. I don't
He's
have...
our anti...
Yeah.
I don't have any any social media.
So you can't really find me much. You can find me on YouTube at Major Glitterix. I do walkthroughs of games.
Well, let's say that again slower. Major
Glitterix. It's glitter, so GLITTERIX.
Oh,
That's
Major
Major Glitterix.
Okay.
And I do gameplay videos. I do walkthroughs with commentary, and I just try to bring my own flair to video games. So if you guys want to go follow me there, that'd be awesome. If you go check me out, that'd be cool. I also have a Facebook page for that channel if you guys want to go check that out as well.
Same name?
Major Glitterix, same thing.
Same thing, okay.
So, yeah, I think that wraps it up. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast
not really watching
again.
it,
So,
we'll see
we
you.
all love Star Wars here, and
We'll see you next week. We'll do another one next week.
we'll be signing off for today.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.